Hey guys, it's your Tackle Mary and welcome back to my channel. As promised, i-release ko today yung ating full review ng POCO X3 GT. So it's been 10 days, saktong 10 araw, simula nung dumating sa akin itong POCO X3 GT as a review unit. Okay, so konting kaalaman lang para doon sa mga taong nanonood sa atin ngayon guys na medyo bago or kumbaga ngayon lang nila or first time nilang manonood ng isang POCO review video. Ang POCO X series, ito yung kanilang mid-range lineup. And then pag sinabi namang POCO F series, ito naman yung medyo actually flagship nila ito. And then of course, when it comes to the POCO M series, ito naman yung kanilang mga entry level and of course budget devices. So today, I will be sharing with you guys yung aking personal and honest opinion about the POCO X3 GT and of course, ano yung ating mga pros and cons. So I'm not gonna be doing a full unboxing video dahil I'm pretty sure nakita nyo na to sa lahat ng videos na napanood nyo in YouTube and of course on my previous video. Pero ito yung pinaka-importante na laman ng box natin, which is of course the 67-watt power brick inside the box. So yes guys, capable po yung ating smartphone na makapag-charge hanggang 67 watt and even yung power brick na kasama sa loob ng box niya. Unahin natin ang pricing. May dalawang variants tayo na pwedeng pagpilian. Para sa POCO X3 GT, meron tayong 8GB RAM na may 128GB of internal storage, which has an early bird price of 14,990 pesos. Meron din tayong 8GB RAM na may 256GB of internal storage, na merong early bird price of 15,990 pesos. And mabibili natin ito sa Lazada. Again, August 3 magiging available yung ating POCO X3 GT. Yung unit na dumating sa akin guys, again, which is the review unit and is already the retail unit, I'm guessing. Wala siyang built-in screen protector na included doon sa phone and even on the accessories. I think POCO is pretty confident dahil itong display na meron tayo for the POCO X3 GT is Corning Gorilla Glass Victus. Take note guys, itong klase ng glass na ginamit dito ay ginagamit sa mga flagship phones na makikita natin from Samsung and even on the flagship phones of Xiaomi. On the back, however guys, plastic po, polycarbonate plastic ang ginamit for the POCO X3 GT, even yung kanyang pinaka-frame. You'll eventually notice it naman guys, pagkahawak mo pa lang, alam mo agad and makikita mo din naman na plastic yung ginamit sa kanya. Hindi naman ako nagre-reklamo guys dahil mas importante pa rin sa akin na magkaroon ng mas matibay na display. Of course. In hand, it's pretty solid guys. It's your typical POCO device and it's weighing at 190 grams. So yes, despite the plastic build, it's quite heavy. Now for the thickness, it's 8.9 millimeter. Actually, it's not too bad. It's not a chunky device. Now, as you can see, tinanggal ko yung ating SIM tray. Capable of putting 2 5G SIM cards. Kaso lang guys, hindi po siya expandable via micro SD card. Which is why I think POCO decided to have 2 variants here dahil nga doon sa kanyang lack of having expandable storage. Although guys, may rubber gasket yung ating SIM tray which adds a bit of protection when it comes to water and dust. And ang dami nagsasabi guys doon sa aking previous video na POCO na meron nga daw IP rating. Well, according to some websites katulad ng GSM Marina, meron pong nakalagay doon na IP53. But doon po kasi sa official POCO na nagpadala sa amin ng official specs sheet niya, wala kasing nakalagay. So, I'm not entirely sure kung meron ba talaga or wala. Basta, ang sinasabi ko guys, may rubber gasket naman ang SIM tray. But again, having a rubber gasket on the SIM tray doesn't assure having an official IP rating. Aside from that, that is pretty much a downside to most of you guys na nakita ko rin sa previous YouTube video natin all about the POCO X3 GT is the lack of headphone port. Medyo disappointing siya at some point, especially for a smartphone na hindi naman gaanong kamahalan. Most of the smartphones kasi guys na walang headphone port or 3.5mm audio port ay yung mga higher mid-range smartphones that is being priced at 25,000 pataas. It may have a very competitive, of course, chipset, fast charging 67 watt. Pero yung pricing niya syempre guys, very affordable pa rin naman and I would say value for money. Pero ayun nga, marami tayong mga missing small features that is of course very important to most people. Anyway, the color that we have is the Stargaze Black. Nakakasad lang na hindi ko mapapakita yung ibang kulay and kung mapapanood nyo rin sa YouTube, most of the videos that you can see there are, actually all of the smartphones are in black. Meron siyang mirror-like finish and meron siyang of course mga parang puti or dust sa bandang ilalim. That's the reason why it's called Stargaze Black. I'm definitely not a fan of it. Alam niyo naman guys ako, kung plastic lang din naman ang gagamitin, why not make it a matte finish? But anyway, of course, considering the POCO brand, it's not really all about the looks, but what's inside of it. Now, the most important thing for me, again guys, importante talaga sa akin ang display. For the bezels guys, symmetrical naman ang meron tayo sa pinakaibabaw, left and right, but of course, para sa kanyang chin, you get a tiny bit more of the chin guys, pero again, hindi naman siya big deal para sa akin. Although na-notice ka lang na medyo may kalakihan yung ating poncho sa pinakaibabaw. 6.6 ang ating display size dito at 1080p LCD po ang meron tayo. Pero on the brighter side, it is capable guys na magkaroon tayo ng refresh rate hanggang 120. Although I do wish guys meron tayong sweet spot na 90Hz refresh rate doon sa kanyang settings. Dahil kung makikita nyo, we only have 60Hz or 120Hz na pagpipilian. Okay, so POCO is claiming guys na kaya ng smartphone na ito umabot ng 450 nits of peak brightness. Ito yung kanyang pinaka-maximum. I'll be very honest with you guys, if you're always out, ito ay medyo mahirap gamitin outdoors. Under direct sunlight guys, talagang nakukulangan ako doon sa kanyang brightness. But guys, para sa mga tao lang naman ito guys na madalas lumabas ng bahay at ginagamit nila yung phone kapag nagko-commute, naglalakad sa labas, ganyan. Pero katulad ko guys na lagi lang naman nasa bahay of course, and bihirang lumabas, hindi naman na ako masyadong magrereklamo sa kanya. I guess the brightness is sufficient enough. Overall, it's a nice panel guys, pero kung ako lang naman ang pipiliin, masaya na ako sa 90Hz pero AMOLED kaysa magkaroon ng IPS at 120Hz. Hindi ko alam kung ako lang, pero sa dami ng phones na nahawakan ko, I would say hindi ko pa rin ma-recognize guys ang pinagkaiba ng 120Hz at 90Hz unless may 144Hz tayo dun. Talaga makikita ko yung pinagkaiba niya sa 90Hz. Ngayon, kung pupunta tayo sa kanyang display settings, meron tayong color scheme that we can choose between auto, standard, and saturated. You can also adjust the color temperature to default, warm, cool, or of course, you can customize it. Sa kanyang dark mode settings, pwede nating ischedule ito. Like for example, you guys want it to automatically be dark kapag dating na ng hapon, kunwari pa alas 6 na ng gabi hanggang of course, madaling araw. Now, swiping to the right side of the phone, meron tayong toggles that is, of course, with the MIUI 12.5. And then, on the left, of course, nandito naman ang ating mga notifications. And kung mapapansin nyo, may mga dots tayo on certain applications. Meron tayo nyan, guys, every time that we have notifications that we need to open. Ngayon, pag-usapan natin yung kanyang performance, dito talaga natin masasabi na nag-shine or talagang umaangat si POCO X3 GT among all the other devices on its price range. This one has the latest MediaTek flagship na Dimensity 1100. It is also equipped with a 6nm chipset powered by 4-ARM Cortex-A78 cores operating at 2.6 GHz. And of course, Mali G77 GPU. Okay, yung unit na meron ako guys as of the moment is yung 8GB of RAM or yung pinaka-max niya. And then as you can see, yung ating naging Antutu score, teka, masyadong mataas yung ating brightness, ay 528,305. Actually, mababa pa to kasi nga late na ako nakapag-Antutu score. Most of the time kasi guys, kapag ako ay run ng Antutu, dapat ito ay sa umpisa bago ako nakapag-download ng mga applications and whatnot. But most of the articles that I've seen, guys, umabot naman hanggang 590,000 ang naging Antutu score, which is actually very good. It has higher benchmark scores, guys, kung ikukumpara natin sa mga smartphones na mas mataas ang presyo katulad ng Samsung Galaxy A52 or kaya naman ng Oppo Reno 6Z. But again, we are only talking about the numbers. Ngayon, yung totoong performance niya, ang Dimensity 1100 guys, isa siyang magandang processor talaga, I would say, and we can compare it to, or we can level it to the Qualcomm Snapdragon 860. So yes, pang 800 series level din itong bago nating Dimensity processor. And it is also worth mentioning guys na merong cooling system or liquid cooling system tayo dito sa POCO X3 GT. And I would say guys based on my experience, nung ako ay nag-hotspot, of course 5G enabled nga itong smartphone na to, for a long period of time, ito yung nagustuhan ko sa kanya, hindi siya nag-overheat unlike other devices na kapag ginamit mo for hotspot, ang bilis-bilis uminit, lalo na yung mga Apple devices. So yes, it is fairly cool most of the time, and so far, ang pinaka-highest temperature na nakuha ko sa kanya ay under 40 degrees Celsius, which is definitely good kasi guys, anything that goes beyond 40 degrees Celsius, medyo uncomfortable ng gamitin, lalo na kapag tayo ay maglalaro pa for a longer period of time. In terms of graphics sa ating mga gaming, gusto ko lang i-point out, when it comes to Mobile Legends, graphics natin, it will go all the way to Ultra. Now, in terms of PUBG naman guys, graphics will only go to HDR, but for frame rate, it goes all the way to Ultra. Now, for Genshin Impact, it can run guys hanggang 60 FPS. Kaya naman po, although temperatures will go slightly higher than the usual. Now, how about battery and charging? Uulitin ko guys, 5,000 mAh ang meron tayo sa POCO X3 GT and 67 watt, which is actually the best charging speed na makukuha natin sa price point na meron tayo. So, claim ni POCO guys na 43 minutes daw yung ating charging speed from 0 to 100%. I'm guessing nakapatay yung ating smartphone dito. But based on my experience, yung charging speed niya lang naka-on yung ating smartphone pero hindi ko naman ginagamit. I was able to fully charge the device from 0 to 100% in just under 50 minutes. Kulang-kulang 48 minutes. Okay, so malapit pa rin naman ito sa clean name ni POCO, which is not bad. Ang importante, hindi lumagpas ng isang oras yung ating charging speed. Good combo naman guys ang 5,000 at yung kanyang 67 watt, saktong-sakto, and I would say sweet spot ang ating 5,000 mAh, which is more than enough for me to finish or to get me through the day. Actually, sumusobra pa nga minsan the next day, and considering na hindi naman AMOLED ang ating display. So, para sa kanyang audio and of course, speaker test. So, meron siyang high resolution audio guys, and pangalawa, of course, dual speakers ang meron tayo. Isa sa pinaka-ibabaw niya and of course, isa sa pinaka-ilalim. Call quality is okay guys, and then pangalawa, yung kanyang audio quality. Okay naman ako, actually, hindi naman siya masyadong sabog, and considering that meron siyang high resolution audio capability, it was able to provide me a good listening experience. Yun nga lang, hindi siya yung pinakamalakas na smartphone na nasubukan ko compared sa mga smartphones na meron ding dual speakers and high resolution audio. Nilolook forward natin yung every-release ng mga bagong POCO smartphones, especially yung kanilang 15 to 20,000 phones. Ngayon, pag-usapan natin yung set of cameras na meron tayo sa POCO X3 GT. Uulitin ko guys, 3 yung camera natin sa likod, although mukhang madami. And medyo may camera bump tayo ng konti dito, making the device wobble sa ating mga flat surface, katulad na meron tayo dito sa mesa. Meron tayong 64 megapixels na main camera, 8 megapixels ultra-wide, 2 megapixels macro camera, at huling-huli 16 megapixels para sa kanyang main camera. Okay, so hindi naman ako mag-expect na magkaroon tayo ng dedicated telephoto lens considering yung kanyang price point. And considering of course what the phone really is. Of course, you're not gonna buy this phone for its cameras, but of course, you're gonna buy this phone because of its performance. But I'm not saying na hindi maganda yung cameras na meron tayo sa phone na to. So, punta tayo sa camera setup niya muna at ipapakita ko sa inyo yung camera features na pwede nyong makuha. Opening the application itself, of course, we have the auto mode wherein we can use the ultra-wide camera ng 0.6 times, 1 times, and of course 2 times. Sa ibabaw, we also have the flash HDR mode, AI camera. We also have a few filters. Meron tayong Google Lens. And if we were to go to the menu, we also have the option to change the ratio. Of course, yung ating timer. Andito rin natin ma-access ang settings. May movie frame siya, grid lines, yung macro lens nandito din, tilt shift, and of course, time burst. So yes, all the toggles that you need are on this drawer. Baka lang hanapin nyo siya. Now, punta tayo sa portrait mode. Dito, pwede pa rin natin i-adjust and gumamit ng mga filters katulad ng neon, phantom, nostalgia, rainbow. Ito yung tinatawag na cinematic effects ng POCO. Now, to the more menu, meron tayong night mode, 64 megapixels, options, short video, panorama, documents, vlog mode, slow motion, time-lapse, long exposure, dual video, and clone mode. Now, para sa ating pinaka-video capability, ang main camera ay capable makapag-shoot hanggang 4K at 30 FPS, tapos ang ultra-wide naman ay 1080p katulad ng kanyang front-facing camera na 16 megapixels. Wala tayong electronic image stabilization para sa ating front-facing camera. So yes, it does shake guys, lalo na pag tayo ay naglalakad. So kailangan natin ng tripod dito kung gusto niyo ng smooth na footage. Pwede naman natin gamitin guys sa kanyang rear camera ang electronic image stabilization, maximum at 4K at 30 frames per second. Like if meron tayong firmware update in the future, baka magkaroon tayo ng 4K at 60 FPS na capability sa video recording. Camera samples natin guys, I would say they are okay, and 64 megapixel shots are very much impressive, lalong-lalo na yung ating mga night mode shots. It surprised me with the amount of detail that we have, and hindi naman siya nagmukhang unnatural, and so far, okay ako sa mga photos that we took using the POCO X3 GT. Of course, yun nga lang, it's not the best when it comes to zoom photos or zoom images because it doesn't have a dedicated telephoto lens. Now, for my final verdict, guys, actually, I've been getting a lot of comments na nagsasabi na they'd rather get the POCO F3 that has an AMOLED display and, of course, Snapdragon yung chipset na ginamit doon. Okay, POCO F3, guys, is definitely a great device, and masasabi ko na talagang pag binili nyo yun, sobrang worth it ng pera nyo. Pero again, maliit na maliit lang din yung kanilang price difference. So, kung nagmamatter talaga sa inyo ang pagkakaroon ng magandang display, katulad ng sinasabi ko kanina, then maybe you should go for that device. Pero para sa mga tao na gusto na mabilisan lahat ng bagay, katulad ng refresh rate and of course, charging speed, dito umangat ang POCO X3 GT. Power efficient naman guys ang MediaTek Dimensity 1100 na ginamit sa smartphone na to. Lalong-lalo na hindi naman siya umiinit kapag tayo ay naka-hotspot. Either of the two phones, kung ano yung bilhin nyo, I will definitely already let you decide dahil it already is a win-win situation for the brand POCO dahil parehas lang naman silang from POCO. This depends na lang sa priority na kailangan ng isang tao sa pagbili ng smartphone. So again, let them decide for their own. Pero siguro no, kung may 6GB RAM variant ang POCO X3 GT, I'm pretty sure meron pa siyang mas affordable pricing, like for example, around 13 to 14,000 pesos. Final verdict actually guys, wala naman akong kinadisappoint from the POCO X3 GT aside from it having an IPS LCD display and of course yung kanyang fingerprint magnet na likod. Overall, I really love it guys. Wala naman akong naging problema. I love what POCO put on their newest X series smartphone. By the way, the link will be all down in the description box. It will be available in Lazada this upcoming August 3, and meron tayong early bird price na kung saan makakalas tayo for not less than 2,000 pesos, which is a good deal, I must say. Again, it's your Girl Mary, and see you on my next video. Bye!